Los Angeles Rams back at home with a 2-4 record, this time hosting the Minnesota Vikings with a 5-1 record. Thursday night football, SoFi Stadium. This Thursday, Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit on the call, Kaylee Harding on the sideline. Westwood One for you radio listeners. We do appreciate you. Ryan Radke and Ron Rivera. Not Ronnie Radke, although Ronnie Radke calling a Rams game, yo, sign me up. That sounds sick, dude. The ref for this game, we get Trey Blake. 62.5% of his calls are on the home team. So be good, Rams. Be good, all right? For you bettors, Rams are a +3 coming into this game, +146 on the money line, 48.5 on the over-under. Some notes that we're looking for on this one, Vikings are off of their first loss of the season last week. Detroit Lions handing the Vikings an L in that second column of the record. Vikings coming in pretty hot on this one, man. They went into last week, of course, undefeated. Rams, though, coming off of a win off of their bye, which is rather exciting. Back-to-back years, winning off the bye. Gotta love that. And the Vikings just got their Week 9 game flexed into primetime. They'll be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. So, obviously, the league looking at the Minnesota Vikings as a team to put in front of the people. So, prime time, Week 9 for Minnesota. But we'll already have a dub by then. It'll be fine, man. It'll be fine. Some injuries that we're looking at in this one. So, Cooper Kupp is back in action, baby. Yeah, we'll get Cooper Kupp back. That is absolutely exciting, man. Probably in a pretty limited role, if I had to guess. I would say that he's probably not going to get, like 98% of the snaps or anything like that. But to get him out there, I think at all is absolutely massive. So that is like really your main injury update for this one. We do have some guys that may or may not go. Braden Fisk may not go. He kind of came out of that last week game against the Raiders. Some back soreness. Jordan Whittington didn't practice as far as the designation goes on Monday, which is technically like a Wednesday injury report. I don't know. It's all kind of crazy. I could probably actually find some injuries. You know how to find injuries. But that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. Puka Nacua got his practice window open, so he will be activated within 21 days. Outside of that, still waiting on some dudes to come back from IR. That list still hefty. Let's take a look at the history of this matchup. This is the 48th all-time meeting between these two teams. The Vikings lead all-time, 27-18 and 2. The Rams have won the last 2 games in this matchup, but the Vikings have won 5 of the last 7. First ever game between these two came on November 5th, 1961. That was Minnesota at the Los Angeles Rams, 31-17 win for your Rams. The 2 ties in this series have come in 1976 and 1962, so we're due. 4-5 versus the Vikings while the Rams were in St. Louis, 2-1 since returning to Los Angeles. Some other stuff that we're kind of just keeping our eyeballs on in this game. So the Vikings, like I said, they received their first loss of the season last year. Detroit Lions, divisional team. So, I mean, that's kind of impossible to say that Vikings are done. Because also Detroit, pretty good football team as well. So this also does wrap up the NFC North gauntlet, I guess, if you will, for the Los Angeles Rams, as opened this season against the Detroit Lions, have already lost to the Bears and the Packers. So Vikings are left. And if we don't win this game, then we got swept by the North, and that cannot happen. All right. So gotta give Minnesota the business, man. But this is with a team that, let's be real, is not used to being in a spot like this. The Minnesota Vikings are coming in hot, and this is just that's out of character, right? Out of character for the Minnesota Vikings. But if they lose back-to-back games, the reason that I mentioned that of them being a little outside of their wheelhouse here is that if they lose back-to-back games and in a 4-day span, that fan base might have a hard time. Might. I don't know. I know a good chunk of Vikings fans, and all of them are genuinely really good football fans, typically. They understand the game of football and don't get too down on those losses and stuff like that. But I also know some fans that are chaos. You know what I mean? They don't live where I live or anything in my city or anything like that, so I don't got to deal with them. But the chaos fans, man, we all have them. Every team has them. What am I trying to? I'm not trying to down any fan bases here, man. We've got them ourselves as well. Some would say I'm one of them. Whatever. But in a more real sense, though, the Vikings will be well aware that a loss on Thursday will get them the fraud title. The media will be very loud if the Minnesota Vikings lose this game, especially to a team that is below 500. So the media obviously is pretty aggressive. We know that I am the media. We can be kind of obnoxious, okay? But I would say that they know that. The Minnesota Vikings know that if they lose back-to-back games within a few days, that it's going to be very loud over there as far as they're like, hey, was 5-0 a joke? Was 5-0 just for funsies and now it's going to be terrible? I mean, maybe it was, dude. But also, like, Sam Darnold's your quarterback, all right? And again, I have zero intentions of talking trash here. But Sam Darnold's your quarterback. Like, it's 5-0. Does that feel real? I mean, yeah, it happened. So it was clearly real. But how sustainable is that? That part I'm not totally sure of. But again, they know this stuff. The Minnesota Vikings know all of this stuff right now. The Rams are in a spot, though, on the other side where they are certainly not out of the division race. And with one more loss than the current leader, we're in a spot to really make a push, which is why those trade rumors are a little out of left field for me, because I felt like if maybe the Rams lose to the Raiders, sitting with a 1-5 record instead of 2-4, and you hear those kind of rumors, it's like, well, yeah, But 2-4 and one more loss than the division leader, and it's like, wait, we're in this. Like, we could be that loss for that division team. Like, what are we doing, man? So I mean, that's just the way it is, though. If the Rams can pull off a win from their side, it's one game down from 500. And a little bit of health is on the way. And if the Rams, if they don't win this game and these trade rumors have already been swirling, it's going to get ugly, man. Because obviously, too, when we're dealing with a rough start to the season and Rams fans already kind of being a little frustrated with how this season started, considering we expected to be a little bit better than this, you lose a few games and then talk about trading some superstars. Yeah, your fan base is going to be a little prickly, so we'll kind of see what that happens to do. But the Rams truly have a chance to turn it now, to turn that momentum now. Coming off a bye, you win the game. You had a win against the Raiders. That, I mean, they're not that great of a football team or anything, but we had a lot of mistakes in that game. We've seen a lot of mistakes where we ended up losing those games, but now we made some mistakes, but still were able to pull off the win. It was, though, asterisk against the Raiders. But if you could pull off a win against the Minnesota Vikings, then it's all systems go, dude. Then it's time to turn up the heat, man. I'm telling you. So either way, it's McVay versus KOC, dude. Kevin O'Connell versus Sean McVay, the understudy, man. This is gonna be a fun one to watch. A chip off the old block, man. That's pretty cool stuff to see McVay. So young and already his tree is already spreading branches, dude. That's super sick. But also, you're welcome, Vikings fans, because without the Rams and Kevin O'Connell, who knows where you are, man? Who knows? Let's take a look at the matchup of this game. We'll start with the Rams offense against the Minnesota Vikings defense. Rams rocking with the 19th overall offense. Vikings defense 22nd overall against the opponent. Passing the ball 15th in the league, just barely over the mid-mark there. And the Vikings defense almost last. They got two teams behind them defending the pass there. So definitely a spot where the Rams could take advantage. The Rams are 26th on the ground, and the Vikings is where their defense makes their money. Second on stopping the run in the NFL. Points being put up, the Rams putting up 19 a game. That's 23rd in the NFL. The Vikings are giving up 17.8. That is 6th in the league. And third down, the Rams 37.5, and the Vikings giving up 32.1. That's tied for 7th, top 10 against third down for the Minnesota Vikings. Rams offense gets Cooper Kupp back. That's a pretty big deal. All right, no matter which way you shake it, it's a big deal for as long as he is actually back and not on another football team, at least. It's a big deal for this Rams offense. Cooper Kupp on Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. Ringing any bells for anybody, dude? Like that day that Jared Goff went off on Minnesota and put up a perfect passer rating, and we absolutely went crazy that day. And yeah, Cooper Kupp, good days, man. The Vikings depth chart, by the way, though, it's very solid, really in all areas. There's not really any glaring weaknesses on this team. And maybe there'd be a Vikings fan to be like, this area is terrible. But me looking at it, I was like, that's actually a pretty good roster throughout, actually, in most position groups as well. Got some decent depth in some spots, and where they don't have decent depth, or really strong starters, I mean, they've got some really good depth there as well. So that overall, solid roster. They've built themselves quite the little squad out there, And in the NFC North, you need it. So they're doing the right thing out there. And Kevin O'Connell, I like to think that the Rams are pretty responsible for this. Limiting mistakes, though, going to be huge for the Rams offense. This really feels like the key here. Got to limit the mistakes against this Vikings defense, especially because that offense can score on you quick, man. So you got to be able to do it yourself as well. With Kupp returning and the Vikings ranking poorly against the pass, that could be an interesting game plan approach. I'm guessing the Minnesota Vikings will be paying quite a lot of attention to Cooper Kupp, meaning some other guys could be getting open. The McVay versus Brian Flores game plan matchup is rather exciting and should be a good battle of the brains there. Brian Flores, absolutely love that guy. I think he's an incredible coach. I would love if he showed up to the Rams one day, but either way, this week, I hope he goes down, dude. Hope he goes down. Best matchup, Rams offense versus the Vikings defense. I'm going to go with Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel against Big Rob and AJ. I really feel like these two can be limited, but I'm talking about Grenard and Van Ginkel. If they can be limited, the Rams offense will be just fine. The Rams will need to be sure to not abandon the run game too quick, which is something that they can do, but if and when they do, because it's possible, the tackle is going to be absolutely critical. Rob and AJ, they've been massive on the Rams front. They'll need to continue that if we want to get this season continued to be turned in the right direction. We're kind of in the right direction now, but not fully there, you know what I mean? So we're still power sliding that and seeing if we can get that fully corrected, man. But not overcorrect. Not trading Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. I think that'd be an overcorrection. Then we're just in a wall, I think, is what. 3-C, Rams offense, Cooper friggin' Kupp, dude. Yes, Cooper Kupp is back, and we're fired up about it. The return of Kupp may be a little bit more limited than we want it to be. Obviously, we want this dude to be all over the place, 100% snap rate, put him in at safety even. I don't care. Put him out there, dude. Let's see what happens. But we'll likely have a solid impact no matter what. Kupp and Stafford don't necessarily need to go off for this to be a massive upgrade to the Rams offense, because Kupp's presence alone makes the difference. It will, at the very, very minimum, take an eyeball or two away from somebody else towards number 10, and who knows, maybe 5 gets a few catches after that, maybe 18 is getting a few catches after that, maybe 15 is getting a few catches after that. So the return of Cooper Kupp is not only Cooper Kupp making catches and touchdowns. The return of Cooper Kupp has taken eyeballs from the defense away from the other guys who can make some plays as well, as we've seen. Tyler Johnson did a great job last week. Tutu's been doing a great job. So we've got some weapons there, man. And Cooper Kupp, he takes attention. That is for dang sure. Next up, Kyren Williams. Kyren is a touchdown machine. No signs of stopping. Absolutely love to see it. Obviously, Derrick Henry and Kyren Williams kind of going tud for tud this season, which is very exciting stuff. So we'll see who comes out on top of that. Derrick Henry, obviously an absolute monster, but wait, we've got our own monster, and he goes by Kyren, all right? King Kyren, dude. King Kyren. But obviously scoring touchdowns every single game this season. That's rather exciting. And he's going against one of the better run defenses in the NFL. Kyren does have a tall task in front of him because of that. But if he's playing like one of the best running backs in the NFL, and he is, then maybe we'll be all right. Maybe we'll at least get it rolling there and open up that play action, because we know what a play action to Kyren Williams and Stafford throw to Kupp can do to a defense. And it's not pretty. Tyler Johnson is going to be last here on 3-C for the offense. Took a big step last week, in my opinion, against the Raiders. I think that was the best we've seen Tyler Johnson. Not just with his numbers and him able to wrangle in some footballs there, but the way he was running his routes, the way he was able to get open, just his whole vibe in that game. The whole team had a little bit more swag last week than we've seen all year. Tyler Johnson, though, definitely noticeable, and the return of Cooper Kupp could make that rather exciting, man. He looked reliable. He looked smooth. Kupp returning. Puka Nacua still down, so Johnson could be in a position to have a pretty big day. Rather exciting stuff. Let's flip over to the other side. We got the Vikings offense against the Rams defense. Vikings offense is 13th in the NFL. Rams defense 26th in the league, so creeping up slowly but surely. Passing the football for the Vikings, 14th in the league. The Rams are 18th against the pass. Running the ball, 119 for the Vikings offense, 17th in the league. Rams defense near the bottom of the road here, 30th in the NFL. Vikings have put up 28 points a game. That is 6th in the league. Rams giving up a little under 18. That's tied for 25th. And on third down, the Vikings are converting over 40%. That's 12th in the league. Rams giving up a little under 40%. That's 20th in the NFL. Some notes in this game. Hello, secondary. What up? Welcome to the party, man. Aubrey Pleasant's group is absolutely playing awesome right now. And Aubrey Pleasant, man, he's doing the thing. His grouping is coming together, all right? And absolutely love to see it. Rams defense coming off of its best day by a long shot, I would say, against the Raiders. In this one, as of course, Cam Curl with the scoop and score. That was absolutely awesome. Jalen McCullough absolutely on fire. Plus Durant going off as well, having one of his best career days. We needed it, man. We needed the secondary to spark and to just do some exciting stuff. I've been talking about that for the last few games, that like we need somebody to do something to spark some excitement, some swag. I'd mentioned Kobe. He's one of them. When Jalen got that pick, it was like, all right, that pick six against Jordan Love, it was like, all right, this could be one of them too. And then, of course, Curl, who actually had been kind of struggling going into this game. And obviously it was a scoop and score, so it wasn't like a sweet read on a pick six or something like that. But hey, he was in the right spot, picked up the ball, scored points. So not a bad play, no matter how you look at it. So either way, this is getting pretty exciting as far as the Rams secondary goes right now. Kind of getting into their groove right at this moment, and that's awesome. Could be the return of Akello. Could be the return of Darius Williams. Troy Hill just got released by the Carolina Panthers. Could we see a little bit of a reunion here? Did we need the reunion to get the swag back? Maybe. Maybe we needed it, man. Maybe we needed it. But McCullough, I think that ultimately it's kind of crazy to see McCullough doing so well. We thought it was going to be Cam Kinchens was our guy, our rookie safety that was going to be the dude. It's Jalen McCullough. Undrafted rookie safety. Jalen McCullough is on fire. 3 picks in the last 2 games. Absolutely love to see it. His Vikings offense, though, certainly has its share of weapons, all right? Rams secondary will need to pay some special attention to this guy that goes by the name of Jefferson, this Jefferson fella, all day long. You got to keep your eyeballs on him. He can score on any play at any moment, so you got to be all over him. Get physical with him. Try to frustrate him. Get in his head. Where's Cortland Finnegan at? We need somebody to get into JJ's head, man. Sam Darnold also looking rather comfortable in the system. It's the system, dude. The system is awesome. All obey the system, man. This thing is absolutely awesome. When a guy, and I have no negative trash talk to say against Sam Darnold, but like when Sam Darnold comes in and leads you to a 5-0 record, hey, your system's awesome, and you're welcome for it, Minnesota. You are welcome. Best matchup in this one, I'm going with Akello and D-Will against Jefferson. Yes, got to be the biggest matchup in this matchup, or in this entire game, I would say. Chances are we see a bit of a mix on this matchup with a little help over the top as well. If Akello and Williams can have another good day like they did last week, I think that they can hold it down. Do you completely smother JJ and not let him get a single catch? Probably not. But do you at least limit him so he doesn't ruin your day? You hope so. Yeah, you hope so. We got our own guy that does that kind of stuff too, though. So both teams kind of feeling the same way, I think, about these wide receivers. But you win this matchup, and you've got a good chance to win this team. I'll be honest. Like that feels very real. And again, the Minnesota Vikings do have their share of weapons. They've got some really good running backs. They've got good wide receivers. Their quarterback's playing well. Their line's playing well. They've got good plays. I mean, it's not just this matchup, but if you can control maybe one of the best receivers in the NFL in Jefferson, then yeah, your chances are better than if he goes off. I don't think that should be surprising to anybody. Durant also, I think that he'll get some reps against JJ also. So had an incredible day last week. Durant did. D-Will, I think is, he's still getting into his rhythm, but obviously he's a really good player. And Akello, I think has played better every single week. So something to keep our eyes on as well. Dive into the 3 to C on this side of the football. We're starting with Jalen McCullough, dude. UDFA and on fire. 3 picks in the last 2 games. And a touchdown. That's absolutely awesome. His pick 6 versus Jordan Love may have awoken something in this secondary, because ever since that play, secondaries had swag. So thank you for the swag, Jalen McCullough. You brought it. It's awesome. stay here for a long time. You're also wearing one of the sickest numbers in Rams history, so you have to be good if you're wearing that number. Those are the rules. But if he's going to pop up, now's a good time to have another good day. In prime time, Jalen McCullough in prime time, going against a team with a very good record, 5-1, with weapons. So if this is another game where McCullough can get a pick or two, yeah, he's going to be in the conversations, very much so. Next up, Cam Curl. Scored a touchdown on fumble recovery last week and is tied for most, and was tied for most solo tackles last week. So obviously absolutely awesome. He also scored 2 passes defended, PDs, whatever. So yeah, easily his best day as a Rams so far. And the secondary is just really just coming along nicely as you know, overall, just really coming together. Cam Curl also with that 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown, officially now just 1 behind the all-time leader, which is 7 or 6 dudes or 7. I wrote it down somewhere. It's somewhere. Either way, tied for 7th, I think now with the 1. Last up, we're going to go with Byron Young, BY. I used a lot of willpower not to just go Durant here, to just go all secondary. I'm hyped on secondary right now. But BY pairing with JV, real nice. And you can tell the difference in his strength from last year, for sure. If you go back and watch any games from Byron Young's rookie season, definitely did not play poorly whatsoever. But this year, you can just tell he's stronger than last year. Still got the quickness, still got the moves. He's just physically a little bit more stronger, which you love to see. Another guy, though, he's getting some awesome pressure, still coming up just a little bit short. So we obviously want to see those go from pressures into sacks, although these pressures are helping quite a bit. You get the sack from Durant, turns into the touchdown to Cam Curl. We got Jared Verse getting in there again last week, so obviously, yeah, love to see it. But Byron Young showing that he's a true leader of this defense, and watching this front develop, man, it's absolutely awesome. These front 4 that we got right now, Byron Young, Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, and Braden Fisk, dude, these guys are monsters, man. And Neville Gallimore, dude, shout out Neville Gallimore, man. I want to put him in here. I'm going to put 4 to seat, all right? Neville, dude, this guy's playing awesome. All right, to be a rotational player like that on the defensive line, to be making plays like Neville's making, dude, I'm here for it, man. A late addition to this Rams roster as well. Love to see it. Neville Gallimore, man. I'm gonna pound the drum a little bit there. Take a look at some connections here. Former Rams on the Vikings now. Head coach Kevin O'Connell. Yep, he was with us. Offensive coordinator Wes Phillips, the son of one Wade. Wide receiver Brandon Powell, B. Pow, did score that punt return for a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings, wearing the sweetest combo of all time, the bone-on sole. Oh, I forgot to do pants picks. We'll do that here in a second. Yeah, dang it. But B. Pow getting that punt return for a touchdown. Absolutely love to see it. Running back Myles Gaskin, short timer for the Rams. Nothing crazy there. Quarterback Brett Rippon. Oh, I still have not forgiven Brett Rippon for that game at Lambeau. Brett Rippon, you are the enemy forever. Running back Cam Akers did just get traded recently back to the Minnesota Vikings. Tight end Johnny Muntz, he's out there. Assistant linebackers coach Thad Bogardus. Senior offensive assistant Chris O'Hara. He was the Rams' offensive assistant in 2021, which was a pretty cool year for the Rams. And on the practice squad, wide receiver Tristan Jackson, a former preseason standout of the LA Rams. Former Vikings who are now on the Rams, just the one, Jonah Williams. We don't want those nerds over here. I'm just kidding. But Jonah, the only one. Some NFL connections here. Jimmy G played in New England with Stephon Gilmore. That happened just one season. Colby Parkinson played in Seattle with defensive lineman Jonathan Bullard and cornerback Shaq Griffin. D. Will played in Jacksonville with Shaq Griffin. Jimmy G played in San Fran with Trent Sherfield and Nick Mullins. Jimmy G also played in Las Vegas with defensive lineman Jerry Tillery. Hunter Long played in Miami with Trent Sherfield, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Myles Gaskin. Matthew Stafford played in Detroit with wide receiver Brandon Powell. I did not know that. That happened in 2018. Pretty cool stuff there. TJ Hawkinson was also playing with Stafford in Detroit. And Kevin O'Connell, he was an off-season quarterback behind Matthew Stafford for the Detroit Lions. That happened in, what was that, 2009? I think it was rookie season for Stafford, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was 2010. And Demarcus Robinson played in Baltimore with tight end Josh Oliver. College connections for you. Demarcus Robinson played at Florida with defensive lineman Jonathan Bullard and wide receiver Brandon Powell. Tutu Atwell, the Tutu train, played at Louisville with Jonathan Grenard. Jalen McCullough played at Tennessee with Ty Chandler and Theo Jackson. BY played there also with Jackson, not Chandler. Neville Gallimore, my dude right now, played at OU with Brian Asamoah, Jalen Redmond, and Tyrese Robinson. Omar Spates played at Oregon with Blake Brandel and Nashawn Wright. Justin Dedich played at USC with Jordan Addison and Mekhi Blackman. Let's see, Kobe Turner played at Wake Forest with Michael Juergens, the guard. Logan Bruss and Rob Havenstein played at Wisco with Andrew Van Ginkel. KT Leviston played at K-State with Dalton Reisner. A.J. Jackson played at Iowa with T.J. Hawkinson. Puka Nacua played at BYU with linebacker Max Tooley. And Tyler Higbee, Big Rig Higgs, played at Western Kentucky with wide receiver Lucky Jackson. Some milestones we are either hitting or keeping an eye on for this one. Cam Curl officially just won. There, here it is. Here's the note. Officially one fumble recovery touchdown away from tying the Rams record with 6 other dudes. That does include Adam Archuleta, Jim Benton, Jack Dwyer, and Leonard Little are on that list. Matthew Stafford, the staff man. He passed Bob Waterfield for most pass attempts by a Ram. Passing Bob Waterfield does not have the overall record. He is 65 to tie Warner for 7th. He needs 2 completions, Matthew Stafford does, to pass Dan Marino for 9th all-time in NFL history. Needs 53 completions to pass Kurt Warner for 5th most in Rams history. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp needs 9 receptions to pass Henry Ellard for 3rd most in Rams history. Very much right up there. And also another reason to be a little sad about the rumors of Cooper Kupp, because, yeah, he is one of the best of all time this team has ever seen. So, yeah, that would hurt our feelings a little bit. So 9 receptions to pass Ellard and needs 1 touchdown reception to tie Elroy Hirsch for 3rd in Rams history as well. Isaac Bruce at 84. Torrey Holt at 74. Elroy Hirsch at 53. And Cooper Kupp is at 52. Sean McVay officially tied John Robinson for the most wins by a head coach in Rams franchise history with 79, which means with one more career win, Sean McVay will hold the record for most wins by a coach in Rams franchise history. Rather exciting stuff. We get Thursday Night Football this week. That is, of course, on Amazon Prime. So no distribution map for you. Let's take a look at the pants picks, actually, real quick. I forgot to put it up here. We are in the Bone jersey, so I'm wearing Bone here. And then I'm going with the Soul, so I'm going Bone on yellow. We have Rams House going with Bone on Bone, and we've got Peo Time going with Bone on Royal. So only one of us can be correct, and we represent all the options. So at least one of us will be correct. But that is it. That is the only option. So those are our pants picks. Let us know what your pants picks are in the comment section below. What do you think we're going to rock, man? We're in the Bone jerseys. Last Bone jersey game of the season. So live it up. I'm going full Bone on Thursday, dude. Boning hard on Thursday. Yeah.